Hey there, gamers! Part 17 of the Wii-A-Thon. Only 2 more to go, and the last Wii title we're going to take a look at. Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's Wheelie Breakers. Now, for those not familiar with the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, you know, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Was originally a Japanese comic, a manga, that was serialized in Weekly Shonen Jump back in the 90s. And about the first 7 volumes or so was really more about, you know, all these different games, but they weren't exactly like the nicest ones. They always had, like, you know, some big risk to them. At one point, though, there was a game showed off, I believe, called Wizards and Warriors. The fans loved it so much, though, that the people at Shueisha, the people that published Weekly Shonen Jump, they asked the creator of the manga, Kazuki Takahashi, can you just make the manga about that card game? So he created the game, he changed it into the game Duel Monsters, and that's what we commonly know as Yu-Gi-Oh! Now. It became a really successful anime series. After there was what's called Season 0, which adapted the first 7 volumes really roughly. Well, it was considered okay at best. Then you got like the 200+ episode Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters, which we got in America as Yu-Gi-Oh! Then you have GX, which is a sequel that is not based off the manga because the Duel Monsters anime covers the manga. And now you got Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's, which is a good number of years after, a while after.
5D's Wheelie Breakers.
So, pretty much the big focus in this one is that at this point now they've mixed together writing like these motorcycle-like devices. In this one you create a new character for yourself. I called him Rider. If you know anything about like Kamen Rider, you would understand why. So, I'm going to skip story mode. I'm pretty much not going to win at that point, so we're just going to go into matchup mode versus the computer. You can go up to 4 players in this one. You're wondering, well, wait a minute, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is like, Duel Monsters is a card game. How does that work? Well, pretty much what this game is, it pretty much is a Rider Hongo. If you still don't get it, I'll mention the reference there. So I'm going to use my deck, and, you know, these are the characters I've unlocked. You use the D-pad to move around, so, yeah, sure, Greiger, Hunter, Akiza Idzinski, Akiza Izayoi. You got Rua, or Leo, Luca, or Luna. You got Officer Ushio, or Officer Trudge, as 4Kids calls him in the English version. And we'll go with the faculty chief, facility chief. So yeah, you go up to 8 enemies. You got normal mode, which is just, this is pretty much it. It's in a sense Mario Kart with some Yu-Gi-Oh! Mixed in, with some Duel Monsters. So normal is just, you know, first one to win the race. Survival, either you win the race or either last one remaining by, you know, taking out everyone's life points. So we'll just note normal for now, and let's do the pipeline, do 3 laps. So yeah, this is pretty much like Mario Kart with some Duel Monsters mixed in. And it actually works off, you know, pretty nicely. It's, you know, it's not perfect, but it's not going to replace Mario Kart in any way, but it's a good complement to it. So you see the cards on the ground, and that's pretty much how you pick up the cards for your hand, you know, going off your deck.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for some high-speed action? Just who will Lady Luck smile on?
So yeah, in a sense, the Rider Hongo's named my bike, but okay. Here we go.
2, 1, go!
Z is your acceleration, B lets you look behind. You use the D-pad to look around your hand, so I'm going to use Mystical Space Typhoon. You use that by pushing up. So I'm going to summon a monster. So there we go. And now when I'm ready to attack, I just push A, and I'll attack when it tells me attack OK. These all go off your counters on the top right, so you can either wait or, you know, so it uses up 5 counters in order to do attack. So let me just charge up. You're allowed to have 12. Anytime you grab those little orbs on the field, you get automatic 12, so now I can attack. You can also do direct attacks on your enemies. So let's see, level down, that slows down enemies. See, I got a direct attack on me. Now let's say I want to attack someone behind me. In this case, I just flick the Wiimote and I'll go behind me, and now I can, you know, do stuff like that. So we got Aki to worry about here. So put up that one, rush. Here we go, another monster, Sonic Chick, or Roadrunner in the Japanese version.
When a duelist really gets to show their stuff.
I lost all my life points, and now I have to wait a little bit. Whoa. Turn around a little bit, because I was going the wrong way. The only problem in this game I can really say is the turning. Turning kind of sucks. You know, there's no, I mean, Z is your, brake, but there's no, first off, let me put on some trap cards. I'm just playing around right now. I'm not really taking this fully seriously. There we go. Rush Legacy gives me a little speed. But pretty much, oh, that was nice. So I'll attack a little bit. Hey, like I said though, turning kind of sucks. You have like no real turning ability in this game. And you know, there's no power sliding. That's the term I want to think of. Power sliding. So now I have to wait until I have enough counters to summon that monster. So Junk Warrior, which is a really, you know, if you watch any Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's, you can tell that's the main character Yusei. That's one of his major cards that he uses, aside from his dragons. So now I'm going to attack. Ah, I lost Junk Warrior already. Mystical Space Typhoon. And if you look on the bottom of the screen, it tells you what each card does. You know, the more you play, the more you just memorize what they are. I'm in 4th place right now. Of course, if this is survival, I would have been out of the race already because I lost all my life points instead of having just be, you know, waited out a little bit. Nightmare Steel Cage, that keeps them from doing the peaceful, you know, there you go, there's my life points again. Once you have a strong enough monster, you can do a lot of damage easily, because you only get 4,000. So if you can do more than 4,000, you can pretty much defeat an enemy really fast. Just as you see, like, you know, this turning, that's probably the only real problem with this game. I mean, it definitely takes a little bit of time, a couple races to get used to. It's definitely maybe a little more complicated than Mario Kart generally is, but it definitely works out really nicely. The whole mixing together Mario Kart with Duel Monsters. And really, it's not much more than this. As I said, survival pretty much is just about if you can take away your opponent's life points and they're out of the race. If you're out of the race, then the match is over already. We're on the 2nd lap, so... And, you know, the story mode just goes through its own story where it pretty much treats Wheelie Breakers as like this alternative competition, because not everyone can do riding duels, which are duels on the, you know, these vehicles. And took a direct attack. But Wheelie Breakers is pretty much meant to be like a virtual race. So even people that can't, you know, do riding duels, you know, can compete. I need to pick out some cards. And, yeah, so... You know, you can pretty tell what these are. The bottom left is your traps. You got 3 trap cards out at a time. They activate when appropriate. On the right, you see how many counters I have, what lap it is, where we are on the track, and the 10 means how many cards I have. I have 10 cards left in my deck. So yeah, I'm just gonna show off this one race, but I mean, there's not much else I can really show off in this game, and there I go again. Yeah, see, with 8 players, it does get a little hectic. It's not easy. I mean, generally, I've just been doing maybe 1 or 2 opponents in story mode. Even in story mode, though, I'm up to the part where we fight Yusei, and Yusei is just, he's near impossible. And my Wiimote decided to die out. But, pretty much that's Yu-Gi-Oh! Wheelie Breakers. It's, you know, as I said, I can't really show too much more of it. I think when it came out, it was 40 bucks. You might be able to get it for 30 now. If you're a fan of Yu-Gi-Oh, I'd say definitely get it. If you're a fan of like Mario Kart, I'd say give it a try. It might take a couple of matches to get used to the gameplay, but it's definitely a really cool, you know, variation on that game style.